just here for certain.
Okay, thank you. All right, that will take care of our public comment. Now we'll go right into the discussion items for the commission. First one is duct cleaning proposal. If you will, you have a copy in your folder. This is what I assume this pertains to you. Servpro of Jackson, DeKalb County is the one that submitted this. These are the air handlers that are listed on the left side. Scope of services, of course. Down at the bottom, number one, cover and protect furnishing contents. You can all read these just as well. There's no reason to go over all these. It's got the total linear footage of ductwork, square footage, the cost to clean and sanitize each unit, and what have you. And you'll see the numbers at the bottom. Scrolled over is the total. Did we at one time talk about looking at getting a cost comparison to replacement rather than just cleaning? What did we end up doing with that?
I don't think we done anything. I think we still have one company looking at it.
Yeah, we had a company look at it.
Replacement.
I think they wanted to do more than we want to do.
Mr. Head, you have signed up here, and if you don't mind, if these guys have got questions, if you'll answer any questions they've got. One question I have is, during your analysis of this system, do you feel like cleaning and sanitizing this ductwork will prolong the life of it and we'll get our money's worth as far as what's installed now? You don't see a problem with?
I don't see a problem with
Any of you guys got any questions for me?
Is the existing ductwork adequate?
it. To be honest with you, I'm not the one that looked at it. Brian Pitchford looked at it, so I couldn't tell you.
All the documentation that we have back at the office for it, it says that it's basically restorable. You have one major unit that we looked at, I think it was on the top side. But anyway, everything looked restorable opposed to replaceable. It is dated equipment. The ducts are definitely salvageable. There was an issue about, Mr. Hodges brought up about it being, if it was damaged too much, would we be willing to stop and come back to the commission and say, no, that this needs to be replaced. But everything we looked at did not go to the point where it was damaged, to the point of not being able to be restored and cleaned. Most of it just needed cleaned, the units especially. The ducts were fairly, dirty from the pictures that we had on it. So.
Thank you very much. Well, this item, of course, this work session, and we're talking about adding these things to the next regular meeting session. We have a motion to add this to the next regular meeting.
Well, we take some time and move to the next work session.
Is that a motion to table?
I'll make a motion to table.
We have a motion to table line item number 1. Do we have a second?
I'll second that one.
We have a motion and a second to table this till the next work session. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll table that till the next work session, Mr. Manning.
Good.
Number 2, we're gonna move it down with 4, so we're gonna go to number 3.
Thank you.
Adding Good, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Adding Good Friday as a holiday. I think a lot of the employees have talked to some of you guys, if y'all want to discuss any of this, but I've had a few ask me about this also.
Yeah, I think it'd be good if we could go ahead and add that in with our holidays.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to put this on the agenda for next Monday to be voted on. All in favor say aye. All opposed? We'll add that to the next Monday meeting. The next one's Revenue Commission Office Organization Chart and IT Job Description. Mr. Allen.
Y'all know of course you know I took over in July, Mr. Crawford. And I didn't make any personnel changes when I took over. I wanted to make sure, of course I've been here a long time, but not being in the revenue commissioner, I was deputy revenue commissioner, not being in that seat, I wanted to make sure that I understood everything that I needed and had, and I think it's time that there's some personnel changes I'd like to make, and I really just one of the main things is just, if you'll notice that first page I give you is what we've got now in place. And I want to adopt a new flow chart. I know it's really not, that's really something I do, but adopting a new flow chart changes pay rates, changes things like that. So I just want to, if y'all give me a minute or two, I'll go as fast as I can, but just kind of go over some of the stuff. If you look at current, that first page, this is what we have, and of course in motor vehicles, you see I have supervisor and an assistant supervisor, and I've got technicians, and you'll notice at the bottom I've got 2 vacancies. Well, one of those vacancies, if you go all the way over to the right, that's Regina Bass. She's our assistant accounting supervisor, has been for 5 years now. When we made her the assistant accounting supervisor, we just was at a place where we couldn't afford to hire somebody right now. So she's still working in the tag office. She's still doing a clerk's job. We're paying her to be the assistant accounting supervisor, and she does help. I mean, she helps Darren. In the future, if we adopt this chart, I know we can't really, I know how the budgets are. I know we can't really do it right now, but in the future, I'd like to have her doing the job we're paying her for, which means I'd have to fill one of these vacancies. I just can't get down. I'm 2 short in tags now, and I can't really go another one short in tags. I have decided that after looking at it for, I've been here for several months now, I don't need that other vacancy. I've been carrying it for a long time, so if you'll see those 2 vacancies, in the future I'd like to fill one, the other one I'm just going to drop. I can handle it with 6 because I can use her, I can pull her, she can help do the accounting, the bookkeeping, the deposits, the year-end stuff, but I can also utilize her in tags and get her to help there. Then coming on over to the real estate, I'm good there. I'm good, if you notice I haven't changed anything there. Of course, if you notice at the top on that second sheet, I don't have a deputy revenue commissioner. Now, I was a deputy revenue commissioner, and I would like to move Darren, he's our accounting supervisor, I'd like to move him to that. His pay, what he makes now is already in line with what a deputy revenue commissioner would make. So I'm not really asking you guys to pay me more money. I just want you to change his title from accounting supervisor to deputy revenue commissioner. I think our handbook says that we do have to give him a percent rate, like a 5% raise. I think it comes out to $1 an hour or something like that to make him deputy revenue commissioner. But the reason behind that is it's a position that, like I said, I waited to see exactly what I needed and what I thought I had to have, and it's a position I think is important. If you look on the flow chart, Darren already does the job. I mean, he already does anything I ask him to do and everything. But on the flow chart, he's not really the supervisor. I mean, people don't answer to him. I mean, that's just not how it's set up. And when I'm not around, sometimes I'm not here, I really need somebody under me. I mean, I need an assistant, I guess you could say, or a deputy, just exactly what the job is. And then you go into the mapping and appraisal. If you'll notice, a few years back, we set this mapping and appraisal department up. We had an appraisal supervisor and a mapping supervisor. That mapping supervisor was Bill Knight. Of course, he retired, and we did retain him on a contract, and we're going to try to keep him on that contract until Greg Tyler, which is our mapper now, is up to speed, everything we feel like he needs to know, which, we said it'd probably take 2 or 3 years to do that. But that at the time, that's what we tried to make that department 2 departments, basically. And it's just not the best. I don't feel like it's the best for the department. And so what I want to do is create a new position, a mapping and appraisal supervisor. I just want one person to run that office. Again, I'm not asking you to fill that position right now. I'm just asking you to set that position, and maybe in the future, when we're able and financially able, I'd like to put somebody in that position to run that office. And then you'll see some of the job descriptions change. On what we have now, I'm 2 short mapping technicians. I don't need them. I'm not even going to try to replace them. That's 2 people. I'm just going to take out a flow chart. That was due to people that retired, and at the time, we did utilize them, but we've got better. We've got more efficient. Computers help a lot. There's a lot of things help us. So I don't want to replace those 2, and I want to change John Radasky. He's our mapping technician. I want to change him to a mapping and appraisal technician, to where he helps either office, and then you'll see it just changes the flow charts. Everybody will fall under that mapping and appraisal supervisor. again, I'm just asking y'all to set that for now, and a lot of these things I plan on addressing come budget time. I've got some of these appraisers, some of these tag clerks they just put their time in and they pass the classes that they need to pass to go from like a technician 1 to a technician 2. But again, I'll address that stuff when it comes budget time. I just want to get it set for now. And also under the mapping appraisal, so I got under personal property, Teresa Winlick's our personal property appraiser, and Kathy Sherman is our assistant. Kathy is retiring in 6 months. Now this is, personal property is not something that, it's not one of those things that everybody can do. We can all pitch in and help do mapping and appraisal and different things, but, that's not public record. So it's very secretive stuff. I mean, companies don't like their business told, so our personal property appraisers, they're the only ones that do that. I would like for you guys to let me hire a replacement for Kathy now. I mean, she's 6 months from retiring, but I really need 6 months for her to train the person coming in. So there would be an overlap. Of course, in that overlap, the person that's coming in is going to come in at a lot or lower rate than what Kathy's making now. So I'd like you to consider that also. In the flow chart, you'll see I put in the new one, we didn't have the old one, but in the new one I put IT director.
Which one did you say is retiring? I'm sorry.
Kathy Sherman.
Sherman?
Yeah, Kathy Sherman. And like I said, and I talked to her today to make sure. I said, if you think you're not, she said, no, she's 72 years old, she's got her 10 years in. She said, I'm definitely leaving September 30th, October 1st, somewhere around there. And right now is the time that we're there to do this. So I mean, if we had somebody today, it would be great. As soon as we could get somebody for them to start training would be great. Going to the IT director, that's a position that I know y'all talked about, and y'all had it on the agenda to talk about today. I discussed this with Matthew a little bit the other day, and at first, we talked about me hiring an IT director because my budget is on a pro rata share. Y'all are only responsible for 15% of that. So, at first I said that I didn't think it was a good idea because we've got other employees that we'd like to advance, and we got positions that we'd like to fill. But the more I think about it, and the more I've studied about it, the money y'all talking about, the land redemption fund, that land redemption fund, and I think y'all know, but I'll explain a little bit about it. When we had a tax sale, when property sells at tax sale, any excess that property brings goes in that land redemption fund, which belongs to you guys. I mean, it's county, it's general fund. The law says that after 3 years, somebody they can't redeem that property after 3 years, an individual. If it's a mortgage company, could be 5 to 7 years. And then in a very rare occasion, if there's a minor child involved, it could be 10 years. So all the money in that land redemption fund, all of it really you could spend. I mean, it's the county commissions to do what you want to with. But, very rare after 3 years do we have somebody redeem property. But it could happen. And if it happened and you spent all that money, then you just have to put it back in there. But we know for sure that there's $125,000 roughly, I think, that's sitting there that's beyond the point where it can be redeemed. So it belongs to you. And my thought was $125,000 is a lot of money, but it's not really. I mean, there's not a lot of stuff you can do with $125,000. If you hired an IT director, and I think y'all were saying between 42 and 60, if you hire them out of the county commission, general fund, then that $125,000 is not going to pay them but 2 or 3 years, a couple of years. If I hire them, however, there's enough money in there to pay them for 16 years. So that money's not really doing anybody any good just sitting there. But if y'all let me hire an IT director under my budget, the whole county can utilize it. I mean, everybody in the courthouse, everybody can utilize it, and it's a way for us to have somebody that, if you talk to Victor and Chuck or anybody, we need one. We need an IT director. We need somebody that's going to help maintain the security of our network. We need somebody to fix PCs. We need somebody to fix printers, copiers, everything, stuff like that. And I just think that it would be a great opportunity for us to hire somebody. And again, like I said, the pro rata share, every year it changes. It's anywhere from 15 to 20%. This year it's around 15.5% is your portion. It's what you would pay. So again, just out of the $125,000 that's sitting there, that's enough to pay an IT director with no raises or inflation or anything for 15, 16 years. And again, there's probably more than that that you can spend. It just depends on the time frame. So you know, that's just something I think that y'all ought to consider. I mean, I need them, but also the rest of the county needs them. But I'm willing to pay them. I mean, just put them under my budget, and however y'all want to word it, they can answer to me. They can answer to a combination of me and Matthew, whatever. But you know, I just think it'd be a great opportunity for us to have one and not really cost us a whole lot of money. So the main things, I guess, the three things that I would like for y'all to pass this organizational chart as it is in the vacancies that I talked about filling in the future, you know, whenever we can. I need that person in tags real bad, but I can hold off on it. But, you know, like I said, I would like to, at least now, move Darren from county supervisor to deputy revenue commissioner. And I'd like to at least now rehire for Kathy Sherman. You know, like I said, she's 6 months away, and ask you to consider that IT director too.
Thank you, Mr. Arnold.
Any questions?
Okay, we have a motion to add the new organizational chart as presented by the Revenue Commissioner to next week's agenda.
I'll make that motion and go ahead and, with his recommendation, go ahead and do the hires IT guy, and go ahead and hire the lady he needs for 6 months. Might as well go ahead and do it, because that's the last thing we want to do is her retire and not have somebody that knows what they're doing.
All right, let's do that in two motions. On this first one, as far as accepting his recommendation for the flow chart for his department, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add this to next week's agenda. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? All right, and the next motion Mr. Guffey had was the IT description, accepting it and putting it on next week's agenda. We have a second for it.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the IT job description on next week's agenda. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? All right, both of them done. Now we're on HMT 2 recommendation. This came from Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'll be referencing the handout I provided you, JCPW job announcement. And the line item says HMT2 recommendation, but this will just be a discussion and some information to keep you informed on where we are as progressing on the vacancies that we're filling. As you're aware, with the latest recommendation that was approved, we filled the 3 positions. So in keeping with that sequence now, we have a 2 vacancy, meaning that we're 2 fill the 3. So that's what this is, and this announcement in conjunction with Ms. Willis has been posted and will be posted for 10 days to take interested applicants. Once the advertisement period is ended, then it's worth mentioning that at the end of that advertisement period, it's going to put us really tight on the interview and selection committee making a recommendation to bring forward. So as it is now, that is the plan, that at the next commission meeting, we will have a recommendation ready for your approval. Should a scheduling conflict arise, that it may be pushed to the next week. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The other facts about the position are listed there, and any questions you have, I'll be happy to answer.
So you've decided to open this process back up and re-interview rather than taking from, did we not approve that with the HMT 3? You were
No,
gonna use
because
those interviews?
we didn't know if it would be a 2 or a 1 that we would be filling.
Okay, so you are opening it back up to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And just so I'm, got this straight in my own head, we had an individual quit, and, well, actually had 2. We had a 3 that quit.
Yes,
That
sir.
opened up the vacancy, and we made the move up, and we had the 1 to quit that we just hired for.
Yes, sir.
So we hadn't added any jobs.
That's
It's
correct.
been-
Nothing has been added. This is just as a result from the 2 vacancies that were created, like you mentioned, We had a 3 and a 1. One resigned, both resigned actually. 3 and a 1. So we filled the 1 first, filled the 3 with a 2. Now we're filling that 2 vacancy.
Yes, sir.
And we'll continue on down until all are filled.
Very good. There's no reason to put this on next week's agenda until the application process is done, and then you'll let us know.
I'd like to move forward with placing it on the agenda. The advertisement period will end prior to the next meeting.
Okay.
And we are planning to have the interview and selection committee carry through with all those in time.
All right. Do we have a motion to add this next week's agenda?
I'll make that motion.
We've got a motion to add the HM2 recommendation to the agenda. We have a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? It'll be added to next week's agenda. The next items are the Parks Department. Mr. Barnes.
I think the first thing is, shop area and stuff. I think Mr. Miller and Mr. Miller says we need to go ahead and do that shop area and, put up the, storage area. Everybody got a copy of what I give them?
Yeah.
Okay, the storage area is going to the back. I think, that's so we can get all that stuff moved out from around the old courthouse. And the shop storage building, that's gonna get rid of all the shop and all those other buildings that we have. You're gonna put basically four things into one building when we go back to the new building. So, I made some recommendations there of what I thought we needed. You can read over it, you can add to it, take away, discontinue it, or, you know, what you need, whatever.
Are you planning on demolishing the ones that you're using now?
Well, I would say we don't really just need to demolish them. I think we would put something out there, you know, throw it out there for bid, let somebody come tear it down and, you know, see what we can get out of it anyway. I mean, I don't,
But your goal is to remove them from the property.
yeah, everything, our goal is to not have nothing up there. And I think while we're working on the, first phase of the park, which is the cabins and that stuff, we wanna go ahead and move the shop in that area and stuff too. But that's what that is, and that's how big the area is gonna be. The fencing, you got it, and the dirt and the gravel works, according to how much it's gonna cost, it's from who does it. But that is a cost that is an estimate for the fence.
So are you needing us just get approval so you can start getting quotes for this? Is that the next step?
I guess that's what we need.
Have you contacted the architect at all about this?
Do what, sir?
Have you asked the architect that's helping with our renovations?
Yeah, we kind
about
of
this?
removed this from that phase 1, and it was some stuff that Carl said that they could work on getting done themselves. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I think we get to go and get the shop built and get the shop built and get it all moved. And the storage area, get it all moved while we're doing all this other, and bam, you can have that place cleaned out up there.
we had some discussions on the length of time it has taken to get to a point where we decide whether to or not to do something down there, and this is something that we can go ahead and be moving on ourselves.
I guess we'd have to put that out for bids, I guess, build the shop.
Yeah, you have to put the building out for bid, yeah.
And, you know, and I guess they probably need to be more specs to it than what I've got here, you know, I have, you know, that's just what I've put in there.
You very well could utilize a local, engineer or something to help you with a floor plan.
I pretty well got the floor plan, you know what I'm
You do have
saying?
one?
But you know, you got to put in the electrical and that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, I think that's what Mr. Lane was getting at. If we use somebody like you out there,
He does copy of it.
he can draw it up, he can get a good bid package together for you.
And that's pretty well what we need, okay, to put those 4 buildings into one. So, you know, I don't know that you can just put it out there like that.
Now, is this gonna be an open building or partitions or?
Well, no, the, one part of it's gonna be enclosed. So that's where all our lawnmowers and our service trucks and
Yeah,
everything.
what I'm saying is the first floor is gonna be all open?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. And second floor will be mostly open. I mean, you know, that's just what's gonna be up there. Our plumbing or electrical storage or paper towels, toilet paper, cleaning supplies, and then just small break room tables, you know, thrown up there, you know. if you wanna heat and cool that little break room, then you'd have to petition it off, you know.
Do we have a motion to go ahead and add this line items to next week's meeting?
I'll make the motion to add that next week's meeting to write a bid spec.
Motion has been made for the bid spec for the shop and storage area. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. All opposed. So we'll add this line item to next week's agenda. and we'll go
In
from
the
there.
storage area.
Yes, sir. Next one is hiring temporary person for the
Yeah,
summer.
we have a temporary position we always hire for the summer. He works 6 months. I don't have anybody in mind right now, and I talked to Michelle. She said she don't have a whole lot of applications. She said we may have to advertise for it.
Very good.
You got anybody, Jonathan, you might know of?
I can go back through the application. We had some, I can
Can we do that?
make some
I
recommendations.
guess can we do that, Mr. Porter?
Would we be able to use the engineers' interviews for, we just interviewed for temporary workers.
Okay.
Would we be able to use that for the park and just fill it
Yeah,
that way?
that shouldn't be a problem for the temporary work.
Very good. So, Mr. Barnes, if you want to get with him on that, that'd be great.
Did we have, we hired 6, was there still quite a few, applicants, suitable applicants, enough to choose from?
There's 1 or 2 more we had some tough decisions on who to go with, so I can point you in that direction. You could,
And I don't think we have to, I just have to give y'all a name in advance, if I'm not mistaken, right? And y'all have to vote on it.
That's correct.
So if I have your name by next week, is that something that y'all might could go ahead and, because I don't plan on him starting till the 1st of April anyway.
We will, we'll put this out in just in a moment for a motion and second to add it to next week. And if you and Mr. Campbell want to get together, and if that's suitable,
Yeah, that's
you
fine.
present us a name, then we can proceed that way. Do we have a motion for the hiring a temporary person for the summer for the park?
Make it motion.
To add to the agenda next week. We have a motion, we have a second.
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second to add to the agenda the hiring of a temporary person for the park. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That'll be added, Mr. Barnes.
Thanks, sir.
The next one's surplus of lawnmower.
Next one is, it's a 2013 Husqvarna. It just can't do the job that we want it to do down there. It just stays torn up all the time. So we bought us a new one, and I would like to get this on surplus on gov deals. We've had good, I guess, I couldn't think of the word, but we've done good with gov deals selling things down there, so. But this is a good lawnmower for somebody that has 10, 15 acres to mow every week, but it's just not the lawnmower that we need.
Is it in,
Down there.
is it in running condition?
Oh,
now,
yes,
Good
sir.
shape?
Yes, sir, yes, sir. I think the minimum bid will start at 3,000. Can you put a minimum bid on it? On gov deals?
For reserve, if I'm not mistaken.
Very good. Is there any questions about this item for Mr. Barnes? If not, we'll entertain a motion to add the surplus of lawnmower on next week's agenda.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion to add this line item to next week's agenda. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That'll be added to next week's agenda. Thank you. That concludes everything that we had on this week's agenda, so now we'll proceed to close. Do you have any comments, Mr. Campbell?
No, sir.
Mr. Barnes?
No, sir.
Mr. Arnold?
No, sir.
Mr. Porter?
No, sir.
Mr. Manning?
No, sir.
Mr. Venable? Mr. Miller?
No, sir.
Mr. Guffey? Very well. And now we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Motion, we are adjourned.
I got a question.
Mr. Miller.
Is your vote to place items on the agenda, is that binding on the commission chairman?
Is it what?
Binding on the commission chairman, since he established the agenda, y'all voted to place items on the agenda,
Right.
which is against y'all's procedure. So it's what I'm wondering, is the vote that y'all took, is that binding on the
Well, maybe we shouldn't have voted, but,
Voted to do what?
we normally
Place
don't
items.
vote on place
You
items.
you don't
We normally
vote.
just talk about it.
You can't vote on a work session.
These items will be on the agenda.
Bottom line is, we're all in agreement, put them on the
They
agenda.
will be on the agenda, but you're right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have
You
done that.
can't vote at a work session.
I didn't know we
That
voted.
vote's not binding.
We had a motion and a second, we didn't vote.
Yeah, there was no vote. Just
but
motion
there
second to
was.
put it on the agenda.
Y'all voted.
Otherwise,
It was good. You know, I don't recall him ever asking.